territories of the Wissquaquet Nation, and may we live in respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with its people.
We'd like to begin tonight's event with a moment of silence for the tragic events which passed in Fredericton this past week. And our hearts and prayers are with those who were affected. I'd like to introduce one of your MCs for this evening, Kate LaFrance. Kate is, by definition, a Jill of all trades. She's also one of Canada's smartest people. She's most recently an aunt to little
Marjorie and a baby. And I'd like to introduce the charming, charismatic, multifaceted Sarah Parker. She's a musician, she's an actress, she's a teacher, she does it all. Sarah.
We're going to be beginning with our choir. What's the official title of the choir this year? Scotch Homily Choir, which will be leading us in O Hymn.
Traditional Scottish piece, and Westering Home, another traditional Scottish piece, but their second piece that they'll be doing is the Wednesday Evening Waltz, which the music was written by my father, Robert LaFrance.
They're accompanied this evening by Roy Grierson over here and Carol Hanson over here.
And just want to point out the lyrics were written by Bernice Bolia, and she also painted this painting on the wall. So another multi-talented lady. Okay, take it away, choir.
Our be, girl. That's not very good.
Arm in arm together, what a
Jacob Paddock playing a tune on piano called When Rivers Flowed on Mars. Come right on up. It's a Canadian composition. So all pieces in this concert are either Canadian compositions or traditional Scottish pieces. Jacob's on his way up. The Scotch Colony Junior Choir, who's making their way up to the stage as I speak, Brandy and I on that program, will be accompanied by Isabel Morton in their songs. And the members who are coming up to the stage right now are Maisie, River, and Memphis Bishop Ridgely, and Noah and Olivia Paddock. And they will be singing The Land of New Brunswick and, of course, Mari's Wedding, which is a classic in this song. Yes, the next generation of the colonies.
Yeah.
common thread between the Wednesday evening fiddlers and the Scotch Colony Fiddlers. They are two separate entities. And I believe the Scotch Colony Fiddlers were formed solely for this event. Is that accurate? Yeah. This is a big deal. So they will be accompanied by the amazing Roy Grierson on the keys. And yay, Roy. Great. And led by Gerald Hanscom, a familiar face around here, who I believe also set up the sound system. So great job. So, they'll be playing three pieces, Kaylee, and then a cheery one, Massacre of Glencoe. And then Scotland the Brave, the only tune that any bagpiper knows. So, thank you. woodworking and logging tools. And it's actually really interesting. There's some captions up here as well if you get a chance to look at those, but don't touch. There's a sign that says don't touch. So Sarah and Kathleen will be playing a beautiful Scottish piece, Macpherson's Lament, and I'm sure they're going to do a great job on it. And they'll be accompanied by Isabel Morton. So we're music. Very much. We practiced way too much before these performances. So over-prepared. That's why. It's the same here.
What does this mean? We stand behind it or before it?
You have been told. Stop on the man.
stage since they were just tiny tots. They were good then, but they're better now. So great job, ladies. And also Isabel. Okay. If you're following your program, we're supposed to have Star Bishop next, but she is dealing with a baby emergency. So she will be back in a moment. So we're going to go next with my brother Kinley, an accomplished guitarist. He recently became way cooler than I could ever hope to be. He's basically a rock star now. Playing in gigs all over the province.
By recently, you mean May 6, 1992.
Get out your guitar. So he will be accompanied as well by Isabel Morton, and he's going to be playing a mystery guitar medley. What are you going to be playing, Kinley?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so whatever that is, twice. We'll start with that. So we'll do each one twice. That's the volume. Okay, ready? Starting with the first one from C and the second one is in E minor. Ready? Okay.
With usually no rehearsal with us. We're just like, hey, can you accompany us with no practice beforehand? And she's like, sure. Great job, Isabel. Okay, one more thing I've been asked to mention is that Sarah and Kathleen's fiddles were both made by their late grandfather, Joe Farquhar, so very special as well.
And now for the star of our show. Star Bishop is going to be coming up to sing My Love is Like a Red, Red Rose, which is, of course, written by Robbie Burns. Take it away, Star.
I think so. Actually, just a second.
You can't
kidding me, I'm okay with that.
Let's put it up this way. Just do a test.
Test.
Check.
Check, check, check.
Okay.
You can kind of hear me. There we go. Is that okay?
Yep.
At this point in the program, we'd like to acknowledge that Cheers is in the back over here. They're selling snacks, of course. A few of you have probably already been back, but if you're feeling peckish, go for it. They're selling all kinds of different things. And of course, the proceeds are going to Cheers, which is a mental health group, which is an activity center, and they do lots of great things for the community. So if you feel like it, head on back. At this point, we have Bob Curran, who is accompanied by a whole list of people. And look how proud he was to the stage. He was ready to go, Bob. So he's accompanied by Kate Scheidler, Anna Scheidler, Isabel Ward, and Darlene Ward.
Yeah, they have the whole entourage.
Yes, of course, it's surrounded by beautiful women. And they are going to be playing and singing Mull Kintyre, which I'm not sure who wrote
We
that.
believe in the traditional Scottish piece, which was, of course, popularized by
Paul McCartney, we all know. And they're going to do their rendition of it this evening.
Sorry.
sunshine and tears in the rain still take me back where my memories remain. Flickering embers grow higher and higher as they carry me back to the mall of Kincardine. Mall of Kincardine, oh, mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be here, a mall of Kincardine. Mall of Kincardine, oh, mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be here, a mall of
Always a pleasure to hear Bob sing. He has such a beautiful voice. Also, great job, Star. Forgot to mention that. That was also lovely. So next up, we're going to have Ellie Ann. You can come up here. Please join me.
Yeah, Ellie Ann's going to be playing a couple of really nice tunes. Ellie Ann's Waltz and Nicole's Waltz, which were actually composed by Kate's uncle, Lawrence France.
Who is in the Brunswick Country Music Hall of Fame?
Yes, so famous. And here comes Ellie Ann.
You want a mic? Those will pick you up all right. Come ahead a little bit.
Start again. You know, the nervousness never goes away. No matter how many years you play. Where's the nervous? No, you gave me a different.
For the music.
That's not right.
Kincardine.
that, and then they'll play My Heart Sitting on Island. There are only 4 of them, but maybe we'll have another little guest dancer. You guys can bring someone up.
Oh, that's Kathy. She don't know.
Yeah. So this is going to be Camel's farewell to March. So anybody want to march? So I like this one because I get to start. So. Terrible, isn't it, Bruno? So, we're going to slow things up a little bit. And this is a song called My Heart's in the Highlands. And I tell you, if we're in the Highlands like now, it would be quite so hot. Anyway, Anna's going to help us out, and the rest, well, she's going to be leading this, and the rest of us are going to pop in here and there. Written by Robbie Burns, but he thought he was going to leave the Highlands. And as it turned out, he didn't, but this song talks about his love for the Highlands and how he would have felt had he had to leave his home. Anyway, My Heart's in the Highlands.
My heart is not here, my heart's in chasing the deer, and chasing the wild deer, and following the roe. My heart's in the highlands, it's wherever I go. Farewell to the mountains I covered with snow. Farewell to the stars and green valleys below. Farewell to the forests and wild hanging woods. Farewell to the torrents and the pouring flood. My heart's in the highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the highlands, chasing the deer, chasing the wild deer, and following the roe. My heart's in the highlands, wherever I go. My heart's in the highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the highlands, chasing the deer, chasing the wild deer, and following the roe. My heart's in the highlands, wherever I go.
Really lovely. I was tearing up backstage. It was really, really sweet. I'm gonna step back here. Oh, okay. I just wanted to congratulate Tim Schuyler, who recently got his Master's in Fine Art. I was talking to not this Kate, but the other Kate Schuyler backstage about it, and it was mentioned that it was an MFA, and I said MMA, and then Anna said, no, that's mixed martial arts. It's a totally different thing. Kate LaFrance now is going to sing you a song for, which she'd like to dedicate to her grandmother Kathleen, who passed away earlier this year. It was a lovely lady. This tune is called For Granny.
Nope, this is Who Rides Again.
This is not that at all.
Sing a bagpipe tune.
If you could take what I just said and copy and paste it later in the evening, this is We'll Rise Again. Thank you very much.
Over the waters, and the ocean
stage. So if you wouldn't mind parting the waves for him to come through. John Moses used to be a student minister in the Scotch colony. Yes, he did. Just yesterday. Yes. And he'll be performing the service this Sunday at 11 o'clock. Be there at the Melville United Church. It is actually the 145th anniversary of the Melville United Church this year as well. 140th, as I said. Right. Took 5 years that the first brick was laid. Anyway, so John Moses is doing a recitation called the Haggis of Private McPhee.
You can't get much more Scottish than that.
Cannot. Take it away, John.
Well, we're met in a hall named after the great Scottish bard. Robert W. Service could be called another great Scottish bard, even though he was born in Lancashire, England. But his family roots, his father was born in Kilwinning, Ayrshire. And after a few years in Lancashire, the family returned to Scotland. Service's father was a banker and he'd been transferred to England. But they returned to Scotland and Service completed his growing up in Glasgow. He came to Canada in search of adventure and he became a poet. There was a time when no gathering like this, no community concert, would have been complete without at least one recitation from Robert Service. Some of you can remember that, probably not. I can't even remember it. The Haggis of Private McPhee is set in World War I. Service was an ambulance driver in World War I in France. This poem first appeared in a collection called Rhymes of a Red Cross Man. Just a little bit of a glossary, vocabulary. Some terms you'll hear. Naebody's land, that's no man's land, the area between the trenches. A Jack Johnson hole, that is the shell hole made by the German 15mm shell, named after Jack Johnson, who was heavyweight champion boxer of the world until 1915. And the Hun, of course, that's what they called the enemy, the guys on the other side. They also called them the Boches. This is written in Scottish dialect. It's not my first language, so apologies to anyone who really speaks Scottish. Have you heard what my old mother's toasted to me? It fair makes me homesick, says Private McPhee. And what did she send you, said Private McFun, as he cocked his rifle and blazed at a Hun? A haggis, the brawest big haggis you ever did see. And think it's the morn when fond memory turns to haggis and whiskey, the birthday of Burns. We maun find a dram, and we'll call in the rest of the lads, and we'll hail Burns net with our best. Be ready at sundown, snapped Sergeant McCall. I want you to men for the Liston patrol. Private McFun looked at Private McPhee. I'm thinking, my lad, it's off we are spree. Private McPhee looked at Private McFun. I'm thinking old chap we're confoundedly done. Then up spoke their crony, wee Woody McNair. Just leave your braw haggis for me to prepare. And as for the dram, if I search the camp round, we maun find a drappy for to just hold it down. Say rin, lads, and though the knitted be black, just think of the haggis that's waiting you when you get back. My, but it was wasting in nobody's land. The dead, they were rotting on every hand. The rockets, like corpse candles, haunted the sky. and the winds of destruction went shuddering by. There was scalping of bullets, and skirling of shells, and bringing of bombs, and 1,000 death knells. But curry and done in a Jack Johnson hole, little fast the twa men of the listening patrol. For swear than honey, and bread as a gem was the thought of the haggis that waited for them. Yet alas, in our moments of sunniest cheer, calamities often most cruelly near. For while the twa talked of their good and divine, the Boches below them were hawking a mine. And while the twa cracked of the feast they would hae, the fuse it was burning and burning away, and set the roar like a thunder of doom, and the hell leap of flame in the west of the tomb. Jock, are you hurt it? Says Private McFun. Aye, Geordie, they've got me, says Private McPhee. I'm thinking I'm done. It's my leg, it's just off at the knee. You'd best gang and leave me, says Private McPhee. Oh, leave ya a winner, says Private McFun. And leave ya a cannon, for though I'm at run, it's no far I would gang, it's no mickle I'd see. I'm blinded, and that's what's the matter with me. Private McPhee sadly shaking his head. If we bide here for long, we'll be biding for dead. And yet, Geordie lad, I could gang well content if I'd tasted that haggis my old mother sent. That's droll, said McFun. You've just speaking to my mind. Oh, I ken it's a terrible thing to be blind. And yet it's not that embitters my lot. It's missing that braw, muckle haggis you've got. For a while they were silent. Then up once again spoke Private McPhee, though he whistled with pain. And why should we miss it? Between you and me, we've legs for to ring and eyes for to see. You lend me your shanks and I'll lend you the sick, and we'll both hae a kite full of haggis the nick. Oh, the sky, it was glowering and dripping a wee, when Private McFun grupped Private McPhee. The glory it was flying and crashing ground, when Private McPhee guided Private McFun. Look out for them corpses! They're maybe no dead. Hold on, there's a big muckle crater ahead. Look out, there's a star shell. There's a sap will be hay in a coup. For God's sake, lad, down on your feet. Oh, bear off to your right. You're just dead fine. Before the next finished, on haggis we'll dine. There was death and destruction on every hand. There was horror and havoc on naebody's land. The shells bickered down with a crump and a glare, and the hameless wee bullets went digging the air. But on they went staggering and currying down, when the stutter and cluck of a machine gun crept round. And the legs of McFun were sturdy and stood, and McPhee on his back kept a bonny lookout. On, my brave lad, we're nae far for the goal, for I can hear the braw swearing of Sergeant McCall. But strength had its limit, and Sergeant McFun, with a curse and a sob, felt his length on the ground. And Private McPhee shouted down in his ear, just think of that haggis. I can smell it from here. It's gushing with juice, it's embalming the air. it's steaming for us, and we're just about there. Then Private McFun answers, damn it, old chap, for the sake of that haggis, I'll gang to the drap. So he gets to his feet with a heave and a strain, and on they go staggering in passion and pain. And the flare and the glare and the fury increase till you'd think they'd just taken all hell on a lease. And on they go reeling in pitiful flight. And someone is shouting away to the right. And someone is running, and know they can hear a sound like a prayer and a sound like a cheer. And swift through the flash and the clash and the din, the lads of the Highlands are bringing them in. They're both sadly wounded, says Sergeant McCall, but is it no droll who they rave about haggis? When hurting along, come we Willie McNair. And they was a wondered why he was greeting sair. He said, I'd just taken it out of the pot, and there it lay steaming and savoury hot. And sudden I ducked at the flesh of a shell, and it rapped on the haggis and dinged it to hell. My, but the lads was fair taken aback when sudden the order was passed to attack. And up from the trenches like lions they leapt, and on through the night like a torrent they swept. And on with their bayonets thirsted before, and on to the foe with a rush and a roar. And wild to the welkin their battle cry rang. Down on the bushes like tigers they sprang. And there was nae a man but had blood in his ee as he thought of the haggis of Private McPhee.
I couldn't even memorize my song.
I think there's a teleprompter back there. As the Wednesday evening fiddlers make their way to the stage, we would just like to thank Gerald again for having set up the sound. Thank Gerald. Yay, Gerald. He's been the fearless leader of the Wednesday evening fiddlers for
About 1,000 years.
1,000
Long time.
years. Well, this year was actually a milestone anniversary for them. Does anybody know what year we're celebrating? 30 years of the Wednesday evening fiddlers. That deserves a And tonight they'll be playing a selection of Scottish tunes for you, which remain unnamed as of yet. And they'll be accompanied by an unnamed accompanist, the invisible pianist by Kathy Bowyer. So let them, I'll just take it away off the stage.
Okay, well, we'll start off with 100 Pipers, and I actually thought this tune was about bagpipers. Come to find out, 100 Pipers is a name for Scotch whiskey, a brand of Scotch whiskey. Yay. Quit doing that.
All right.
And next we'll do Road for the Isles. I can't believe it hasn't been done already. Keep them short because we've got a couple more to do. We're going to do the New Brunswick waltz for you. Now, I have to tell you, we've been doing this for 30 years, and to celebrate this year, we're taking a bus trip down to Nashville and Pigeon Forge. Actually, we're leaving next Thursday, on the 23rd, and I tell you, I've got 3 tickets for the Grand Ole Opry, and if I don't get some more people on this bus, I'm going to be standing on the street down there trying to sell tickets. And they'll arrest you for that. Anyway, if you would like to go with us, just let us know. We'd love to have at least 3 more people. And now we're practicing, this is the 145th. We're practicing for the 150th. This next tune we're going to do is called the Sesquicentennial two-step.
already. She's going to be doing a step dance, and those of you who have been here before know that when Anna dances, we all kind of get pretty excited. The floor rocks a little bit, and there's smoke that comes off of the floors, and it's kind of a big deal around here, okay? So Anna's going to be accompanied by her brother Tim and her mom Kate, and I'm not sure what they'll be playing, but I've been told it's very fast. So, here's Anna.
We're just checking to make sure all those, all the
Guards, are these going to fall down?
on me.
It says don't touch, can we touch?
I think there's dowels in the bottom.
Are we good, Karen?
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
I'm sure that she's going to do an excellent job. I'm going to get out of the way. Thank you for your confidence.
with the Fredericton Pipe Band and occasionally with the Southern Victoria Pipe Band. She's a very talented piper all around. Before we're joined by our next act, we're actually going to have a draw. So I'd like to ask Jackie and June Farquhar and Ingrid Gertz to come on stage and join me. We've been selling tickets for both a bear that my father carved and a gift basket with lots of fun gift cards and things. We're going to draw for that right now.
Where's the, Graham
Container. My lovely assistant will bring the container up.
Okay, so Jackie's gonna say some thank yous. Okay, we really do want to thank everybody, all the people that baked for the bake sale, all the people that bought at the bake sale, all the people that bought tickets, and Garth for making the bear. Lucette has been a beast selling tickets. She has sold so many tickets that she has made it such a huge success by selling. Yes. Way to go, Lucette. Because Jackie and I are not big, good ticket sellers. Lucette sure was. Yeah. She made up for it. So we're going to get, and Ingrid is here, and we're so glad. We're so happy you're here. So, do we thank everybody? I hope so. Do we thank everybody? Okay. Yeah, you did. Yes. Okay. Do we thank Garth for carving the bear? I thank her. Okay. So, shake her up. I think it's really shaking up. Oh, and are we going to say how much money? Oh, and also we raised the total of, as of 2 minutes ago, what was it? $1,540. Anyway, but 30 plus 10. Okay, the first prize, the bear. Oh, or the second prize, I don't know. Oh, we can't change it now. Okay, it's the first prize. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. You really? Okay. You have
here
one.
we go.
Rolling with the We actually know him, so. And she goes, oh my goodness. Rolling Demerton. Rolling Demerton. Okay, Rolling won the bear. Now the basket. Oh, I should have brought the basket. It might be, somebody might be here. Dear. Oh, well. Give it to them tomorrow. That's exciting. I know. Garth drove all the way to Grand Falls to get a new lantern for the bear today. But. And the second prize goes to Tyler Woods. So Rolly and Tyler, that's very exciting. Okay. Are you guys done? Do you want to say anything? No? Ingrid said thank you to everybody. So that's all you have to Okay, before we sing, right? Garth, can you clear for a minute, please? Is Dean here? Dean here? Dean Mitchell, where are you? Well, anyway, you should be here. Carrie's up here. Bill, where's Bill? Okay, you're right there. Carolyn? Carolyn, where are you? She was at the bath. Come here, Carolyn. She's working. Here, she's trapped in there. You're not trapped. Get up here.
Should sell the tickets.
Always working. Okay, Garth, get out here.
Bill, get up here.
Bill, get out here. Quit taking pictures for a minute. Oh, here, we'll do a selfie. Okay. Where's Carrie? Where's Carrie? There's Carrie. Okay. Okay. Just a couple of things. Gerald, thank you so much for doing all the sound. It's lovely. I hope everybody stays for the dance because it's going to be really fun. And okay. You see up here your organizing committee, except for Dean, who doesn't seem to be here, and Jean, who is coming tomorrow, right?
Should be.
Yes, she better be, because she's supposed to be at my house. Okay, a couple of thank yous to Mike Bolster of Bolster Canada. He gave us those banner hooks. You saw the banner out on the side of the hall that Bill made. He's so talented. Alma Downing, who helped us photocopy all kinds of stuff at the church office. The Andover Kincardine Pastoral Charge, the Kincardine UCW, the Upper Kintore UCW for doing all the food for Sunday. The Gathering of the Scots, my soul, Rod McIntosh, we made 3 trips down here for bringing the tents and signs and the hand washing station out there and just being generally supportive. And the Village of Perth Andover for the bus, almost Carolyn. Okay, all right, so I'd like to say a huge, huge thank you to Dean's a new person, to Dean Mitchell. He bought Philip's house down the road, and you know what he found? He came up the other. Oh, sorry, but I have to tell you this. He came up the other day. Sorry, he came up the other day and he had this ski pole in his hand, and I said, "What on earth is that?" And he said, he tore out one of the walls. He's making the house go back to the way it was. It was this ski pole, and it's the metal thing at the bottom, and it's all connected with leather, and it's a bamboo. Anyway, it was either Phillips that was putting in insulation and dropped it down in there, or it was my great-grandfather, Alexander Chapman. I don't know whose it was, but it's interesting, and it's on my veranda if you want to see it tomorrow. So anyway, he's a new person on the committee. We're really glad to have him on the committee. He's been doing all kinds of stuff and kind of giving us some ideas and just kind of hauling in the reins a little bit sometimes when we're getting ridiculous. Jean, Bill's wife Jean, she's just been a voice of reason through all this. She helps with the editing of the books. We have done, not I, but Carrie and Bill have reprinted Hearts and Hearths. It started out to be a cookbook, but it turned into a history book, and there are copies back there that Carolyn's selling. So they've done a new edition of that, and also, and Carrie's been working on the publicity. She's been the idea person for all of this. She's done the poster contest with Bill and Jean. She did Hearts and Hearths. And Bill has worked on Hearts and Hearths and the website and the Facebook page and all the posters and signs and who knows what. Driving clear from Madawaska Lake, for heaven's sake. Goodness. And we have also reprinted New Kincardineshire. That's the Duncan MacPhail book that was published, when was it?
The 70s.
Yeah, in 70 when?
77.
77. Anyway, Bill worked with Peter MacPhail, who's Duncan's son, and he and Blair did some proofreading, and we've reprinted that. So Carolyn has that for sale back there too. And speaking of Carolyn, she's a secretary. She's our secretary, but my soul, she's our business manager. She handles all the sales. When we forget stuff, we say, Carolyn, could you handle that? Carolyn, could you handle that? Could you rent that bus? Could you book that? Could you? She's been amazing. Thank you, Carolyn. Garth's looking after all the money so that we don't overspend. So, has enough come in yet? Or do we still need some more? We need to sell some more. We need to sell some more. And Garth's done this beautiful display back here. He's doing 3 tours. Oh, speaking of the tours, you should probably register tonight or first thing tomorrow morning if you want to do one of Garth's tours. He's doing 3, or The Amazing Race. And I think somebody, Cheryl, are you going to talk about The Amazing Race or not? No? No? I don't anymore. It's lost. I seriously lost everything, Cheryl. So, do you want to say a little word, Cheryl?
Okay, what's the name of it?
Well, I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to, but I don't know what I did with the stuff. So no, it's all lost. You don't have any idea how many times I've looked for a dust cloth. Carolyn knows, because where's that dust cloth? And I always had it right there. So after a while I started hanging it on one doorknob, and then I might remember where that dust cloth is. Anyway, thank you very much.
We're also selling tickets on a basket.
Oh,
there's
right.
different things to win.
Forgot. We're selling tickets too on a blanket that Cheryl made and donated. A painting that Bill does wonderful paintings, and he donated one. Carrie has donated sets of placemats. Garth made a bench. We put together a basket. Am I missing anything?
Are they here?
I think Carolyn.
I've got things on display in the back.
Yes, they're back there. So, okay, you ready? I'll stop.
Okay, The Amazing Race is new this year, and we'd like you to sign up ahead of time so we have a little bit of idea how many people are going on it. And in a car, there can be 4 or 5 people. The more people, the merrier. Anyway, the Amazing Race will be like no other. This will be a test of how observant, skilled, and knowledgeable you are. Having the ability to follow directions will be an asset, plus you will be receiving clues as you continue on your journey. You will go places where you've probably never been and maybe doing things that you've never done before. You're going to learn some of the history of the Scottish settlers who came here. Take your time, enjoy the scenery along the way. You'll have questions to answer and tasks to complete. So pay attention to details. If you're not sure of the answer, have an educated guess. And most of all, enjoy your excursion.
Thank you, Chair.
What time?
It starts at 1.
Is it?
1 o'clock.
But there should be a program back there.
Yes.
Is that weather permitting, though?
Well, you're going to be in a car, so you will be getting out from time to time, but
But what about people are sitting at points?
Well, we're not going to worry about that.
we're not going to worry about it.
They signed on. But
They sign off.
Okay. Okay. Could I have a round of applause for all the volunteers, all the performers, Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and you don't have to register early for Anna Scheider's workshop, Step Dance workshop tomorrow. Just show up.
And there will be a quilt show tomorrow at 404 Kincardine Road. Didn't know that was and it's 2 to 4 tomorrow. It's from 10 until 2 tomorrow.
And there are 2 parking lots, one above and one below.
Now the choir behind me will be singing something to sing about. These are my mountains and Old Lang Syne. Yes, sir. There will be an open house after dance from 11 to 2 if you'd like to spend some of your time there. If you're not at all the other things. Museum gallery. There will be a museum gallery and weaving on display. Here is the choir.
We're going to have to get a cane there for a minute, yank her off. Get my hook, darling.
forgot about the third verse, but you had a chance to hear that beautiful voice of Isabella's without. Always running.
Can I take out the chairs before we go all like that? I won't go on and on. It's okay. We're on the chairs. The plastic ones go back in the entryway, and the wooden ones come up here, but make sure you pot up the brown ones with the brown ones, and then the other ones with the other ones.
You're right.
That way. Let's sing All Lang Syne.
We have two verses.